Hello everyone, you're welcome to the NPIK YouTube channel. Just before you apply for your Canada study permit, you need to watch this video. Just hold on as we give you a summary of all the policy changes in 2024. So this video is for you if you are planning to apply for study permit, you are planning to apply for your dependents. You need to know everything that has changed about the Canada immigration policies for students. So hang in and let us go over everything that has changed this year. I'm Timlane Taiwo and this is a welcome again to the NPIK YouTube channel. Just before we go on, it will be a good time for you to like, to subscribe and share this video because we'll be uploading good content, informative content that can help you throughout your relocation process. So there were four major announcements concerning study permits in Canada this year. First of all, in January 1, 2024, the living expenses for students changed from 10,000 Canadian dollars to 20,635 Canadian dollars. Now we're going to be explaining the implications of all this policy change, how it's going to affect you or affect your dependents shortly in the video. So let's go along together. Then secondly, in January 22, 2024, again, there was another announcement that reduced the study cap by 35%. That means the number of study permits that were issued in 2022-2023 will be reduced by 35% 2024 going forward. And then the PAL, the provincial attestation letter, was introduced. Then private colleges with private licensing arrangements, it was announced that they will no longer be eligible for postgraduate work permits. And then for people with spouses, only those at the master's level or those doing a PhD doctoral level would be able to bring in their spouses on the open work permit. And then the third announcement was in April 29, 2024, where student work hours was reduced and fixed at 20 hours. Earlier, there was a policy that allowed students to work beyond 20 hours, but in April, it was capped to 20 hours. And then lastly, the most recent was in September 19, 2024, where a new announcement was made that IELTS is now compulsory for those who seek a postgraduate work permit in Canada. And secondly, it was also introduced that a postgraduate work permit is no longer automatic. It has to be in selected fields, jobs that are in demand and tailored towards the needs of the Canadian economy. So now let's discuss how this policies will affect you. What should help you in deciding what to study, how to study, and how to go about your processes. And then also in the last announcement in September, it limited the eligibility of spouses who want to work. It must be someone on a master's degree and the course must have at least 16 months duration. Okay, so what are the implications? If you want to study in Canada, just take a pause. At what level is the study? Is it for postgraduate? Is it for undergraduate? Undergraduates will no longer be able to take in their spouses on open work permits. Well, they might apply for a visitor's visa, but for open work permits, not anymore until there is a change in policy. But at postgraduate level, if you are considering bringing your spouses on a open work permit where they will be able to work, that's what I'm saying, where they will be able to work, then the students must be going for a master's program. It must either be a master's or a PhD program. Now, and the master's cannot be a one-year master's. It has to be master's that is more than 16 months. So you can consider master's with 18 months duration or 2 years duration. If you don't have dependents, you are fine to go for any course in duration, maybe 1 year or whatever. But if you have dependents, you want your spouse to come in, you must look out for courses that have a longer duration. Now, secondly, before you apply for that course, before you apply for that admission, you need to consider courses that are high in demand. You know, the STEM field is always in demand. There is never a time where there is excess supply of those in the STEM. STEM, I mean science, technology, engineering, and maths. So the STEM is always in demand. And then there is a link in the bio where you can look at the programs or the jobs that are in demand. So it will help you in choosing the right course to study from beginning. And that is especially important now because after study, you would want to apply for a postgraduate work permit. And to get a postgraduate work permit, your job must be in demand. So you need to consider courses or jobs that are in high demand. Now, what of students that have HND and want to go for postgraduate study in Canada? How does this policy affect them? Now, first thing is, if they're going to go to a college, you must consider colleges that are postgraduate work permit eligible, designated learning institutions that are and courses that are eligible for postgraduate work permit. That's the first thing. Then secondly, because HND might not be able to get a direct master's except in few cases, so they might want to consider bringing in their spouses after their study. So that means if you have a HND certificate and you want to go for postgraduate in Canada, your preference or your topmost priority should be considering a course that is high in demand, so that post-study you'll be able to get a work permit and probably subsequently bring in your family. Now, it is very important to always confirm this ahead of your study application. Now, what about the children? Currently, for dependents, the only policy cap is for spouses, those that want the open work permit. Children can still apply to join their parents that are studying. There is still no policy currently that is limiting students from joining their parents. So the dependents, all the explanations we made concerning dependents is particularly for spouses that would want to join their student, spouse or husband on their study program. So I hope these points will help you in deciding what course, what duration, what province, in order to have a beautiful post-study experience in Canada. You can follow us for more information, and in the next video we'll be sharing more on how to get post-study pilot programs that can help to convert easily to becoming a permanent resident in Canada. So that will be all for now. Bye bye. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Bye for now.